Okay, so what is the topic of today's podcast? I think we're going old school. I think we might have covered this a long time ago in an episode. I don't remember what. But basically, we're going to talk about how to save money in Japan. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because I was watching my good buddy, the Mexican Samurai, on the old YouTubes. And he had a little Google Hangout with a couple other buddies. Akasan, I think, and RisingGaijin. I think RisingGaijin is in Osaka or Tokyo. Akasan has recently moved to Fukuoka. And of course, the Mexican Samurai is somewhere down in the middle of Kyushu. I believe in Kumamoto or somewhere over there. So the question that their conversation went on about how to save money in Japan. And I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to give my opinions. And like I said, we've done this in maybe a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago already. We did this in the first handful of episodes. The audio quality wasn't quite that great. And our experience as podcasters wasn't that great either. So I thought I would tackle the blah, 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 blah. I thought I'd tackle the subject again. So I'm going to give, handful of pointers on what I think will help you save money while you're in Japan, and some methods to some madness that I had and discovered along the way. So first of all, living in Japan can be expensive. You got to remember, you're teaching English most likely. You're hanging out with folks, dudes and chicks from around the world who are interested in many different aspects of life in Japan, or they're just basically people are just there to have a good time. They teach English just to get by, to generate some money. Some people are doing this as a career. Most people know it's a couple year gig. They want to come, have some fun, travel around Japan, get to know some Japanese people, the culture, things like that, visit some places, and they're done. They're out of there. Some of them have a little bit of idea that they want to save some money. Some people want to spend everything they make. Some people are paying off loans. There's all kinds of people. But saving money is always a good thing, no matter where you are. Some of these rules are universal, but Japan's kind of unique in certain ways. And I think I can give you some pointers. And I wish Anthony was here to actually help me. But for now, we're just going to have to do it off the top of my head. First thing I'm going to say is saving money in Japan starts with cooking yourself. Cooking yourself saves lots of money. Buying bags of rice, buying a big bag of rice. Rice is expensive, but it can go a long way. Buying pastas and actually loaves of bread are pretty cheap there. So saving money by cooking your own stuff. I'm not gonna go into diets and carbs and calories like that. We're talking saving money. So when saving money comes in, usually you're eating lots of carbs. So I would recommend you always have a bag of rice. You always have some pasta ready to go. Pasta sauce, rice. You hit the supermarkets in the evening. It depends on the specific supermarket, but the discounts start coming on after the after work rush. You'll start to see the 20% stickers. You'll see the staff of the supermarket slap on that 20-30% sticker, and things start to fly off the shelf little by little. But then slowly you'll start to see that 50% sticker the longer it gets into the night, because Japan is all about this just-in-time delivery. And I think it was I'm not sure if Toyota's actually the first people that did it, or maybe it's just built into the culture where they don't keep things around. Food is usually they usually go to the supermarket that day, buy what they're gonna cook, and then you cook it. Because the housewife in the past usually didn't work. The husband, salary man / factory worker / farmer would go do his thing and come back, and then the meal would be ready. So it probably rolls off of culture. But then Toyota kind of made it with manufacturing. The just-in-time parts will be delivered. The trucks will be right outside. When they need it, the trucks are delivering it. So there's no need to have inventory and stuff like that. But so I think that comes a little bit from that. They figure if it's after 6 o'clock or whatever time, you're gonna have to visit your supermarket at certain times. Just kind of watch. After that certain time, the stickers start coming on because they don't want the stuff to be there tomorrow. They want to get rid of all of it. That's when you, as a gaijin teacher, a foreigner, or even a local Japanese, that's when you get your handful of change and you head down to your local supermarket and you purchase the stuff that is 50% off. And I believe it was Akasan. He pulled out some frozen stuff from his freezer and showed on the video. And he's brilliant. I'd never even thought about this. Usually I went there and grabbed stuff that was already pre-cooked. Or I bought enough stuff just to buy for that night. But if you think about it, you buy a couple extras, you throw it in the freezer. That way you don't have to go to the supermarket every damn night. Though for me, after teaching all day, I kind of wanted to go experience normal life outside, like real Japanese life. So going to the supermarket was part of my cultural experience of living in Japan and fun, It was just fun. You never know, you might meet a hot chick there, you might run into some friends or your students or, just interact with people on a normal basis, not teaching English. So, but yeah, definitely want to put a little bit of stuff in your freezer, which comes to the point of you actually have to know how to cook a little bit. I mean, what do you need? A frying pan. It's nice if you have a rice cooker. If you don't, you can actually cook rice in a what do you call those things? Like a little soup pot with a lid. You need a lid. You can look on the internet. There's probably ways that tell you how to do it. But I recommend the rice cooker. It's a lot easier. Just put it in, put the water, push a button, and then beep when it's finished. It's all good. So hit that supermarket after the afternoon rush when you start seeing the stickers. Like I said, you'll see the 15, 10, 20, 30% stickers first. A little bit later at night, you'll start to see that 50% sticker. Half price. That's when you start picking up. And if you play your cards right, say for example, you don't want to cook. You just go there, you grab the 50% off bentos or whatever, and you're still saving lots of money. You're saving half the money of going to more than half of going to like 7-Eleven or whatever. And like I said, we're not talking about healthy eating and diets, but the majority of stuff you can get at a Japanese supermarket is relatively healthy, so you're pretty safe. And what I would usually do is I'd go get the meat. I'd have the rice cooking at home. I'd go grab like some chicken or some fish, and then just 50% off, 30% off, anything that saves some money. And maybe you buy enough to cover your dinner and your breakfast in the morning, or your leftovers you can pack up for lunch. Which leads me to the second actual recommendation. When you're working, you need to be bringing your lunch. You need to get one of those little plastic cute bento things and throw some junk in that bento. Because just that amount of saving alone, say you work 5 days a week, I would say average, if you didn't bring your lunch, you're going to spend pretty close to, if you're not watching your money, you spend pretty close to 1,000. That's $10. That's $50 a week. The Monday through Friday, not including the other days. So even if you weren't planning on saving money for your saving, but you want to save money for beer and drinking and party on the weekend, that's 5,000 extra yen in your pocket, which means that's how many? Minimum 10 beers, which is a lot of beers. So you save 10 beers worth just bringing your lunch to work. And if you include, like, in a normal day, let's just say a Monday through Friday schedule, which you probably won't have unless you work at a elementary or junior high. If you're at a Kaiwa conversation school, you're going to have some weird days. You might have a Monday, Tuesday off, or a Friday, or like a Saturday, Tuesday. The longer you're there, the better schedule you can get. So bringing your lunch will save that money. Eating breakfast in the morning, if you eat just, a piece of toast or whatever to save that money. And then dinner, come home, cook something most of the days. You can also, another idea is to, you could buy tea and drinks at, vending machines, but that's like 120 yen. So if you go to the supermarket, you can buy your drinks there, or you can make your own tea, bring your own thermos, and really start saving some serious dough. And it doesn't really take much time if you do that for a month or so. You end up starting to have 100,000, 200,000 yen in your savings, which at that point you could go back to normal eating as you normally would, living paycheck to paycheck, but you still got a couple grand in the bank. Up to you. This is all kinds of variations you can do to this little theory I got going, this little method, I guess you can call it. So yeah, evening supermarket raids, get those half 50%, 30, 40, whatever percent off. Bring your lunch during the week. Try to eat home as much as possible. Especially for the simple, silly meals like breakfast. Get up, have a freaking sandwich, or cook an egg. Eggs are dirt cheap. Cook an egg, have a piece of toast, or whatever. If you're Australian, slap some Vegemite and butter on that stuff. If you're American, put some peanut butter or butter or whatever. You can save a lot of money doing that stuff. So those are two methods. Another way to save money is to to buy seasonally. When you're in the supermarket, things can be expensive, but things can also be dirt cheap depending on the time of the year. If it's strawberry season, strawberries are dirt cheap. If it's off season, they're freaking expensive. Goes for everything vegetable. So try to buy in season. Some things are pretty much always on sale, like spinach, carrots, potatoes, what else? Daikon, stuff like that. It's pretty much always at a reasonable price. It just broccoli is always pretty cheap. Asparagus is pretty cheap, so you can actually add that little bit of a vegetable / healthy food into your diet to make it a little bit easier. Salad's pretty cheap. It's not too unreasonable. And yeah, so buy in season fruits, especially. It's Mikan season. Those things are dirt cheap. If it's kaki or persimmon season, which the dreaded fruit, as me and Anthony call it, those things are dirt cheap. Well, people will probably give them to you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And also look for little farmers markets, or sometimes in your neighborhood they'll have a truck that comes by, and people just local farmers will sell their goods right there. I used to score like some Japanese pumpkins, kabocha, daikon, potatoes, carrots. Oh, carrots are dirt cheap. So you can definitely get some bargains doing that as well. Okay. Drinking, unfortunately, beer is a pretty fixed price, so you will save a little bit if you, for example, you get ready to go out. You go to the supermarket, you buy a can of beer. It's going to be cheaper than the 500 yen in the store. I guess it'll be like 390, 380. So you save a little bit, which will help. So I definitely recommend picking up, if you're going to go to a club and you want to save a little bit money that night, pick up a can or whatever your poison is. A bottle of whiskey or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just on the way, because you can drink in the street. You can ride your bicycle and drink a beer or whatever. That's what's cool about Japan. Because at the bars, it's going to be minimum 500 for like a draft. If you get any fancy beers, the price 700, 700, possibly 800, depending on the establishment you go to. It's not going to be cheaper, that's for sure. And if it is, you probably don't want to drink that shit. Saving money, not buying quote unquote beer, but buying happoshu, which we talk about many times, which is a kind of a beer type drink. And it basically is a malt beverage, and it tastes close enough to beer. And especially these days, you can save. It used to be like almost half the price of beer, but now it's getting closer depending on the quality of the actual happoshu you buy. Okay, so what else? How else can you save money? Some methods to my madness is when you get paid once a month, and that's really hard for an American. We're used to getting paid every 2 weeks, sometimes weekly. If you're a waiter, you're used to getting money every night, so it's hard to adjust to that weekly schedule. And especially when you are what do you call it? When you're new there, you might have to go 1 month and a half without actually seeing a paycheck. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted looking at something here. Yeah, you might go a month and a half, possibly even 2, without seeing a full paycheck, which sucks. So if you don't come with a little bit of money to Japan, you're in for a rude awakening. So you definitely need to follow this advice to save money. And oh, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so when you get paid, just think of 4 weeks, quadrats. When you get paid, everybody wants to go out drinking because they didn't make it to the end, and the last week they didn't have any money, so they stayed home and did nothing for the last week or so, possibly 10 days to 2 weeks, depending how much control you have on your finances. So what I recommend is the first week, week and a half or 2, play it cool. Use these tips. Bring your lunch. Eat at home. Don't go out. And if you do, don't go crazy. Buy that beer before. Nurse your beer. Have fun. I mean, you're going to have fun. There's chicks, there's dudes, depending if you're a girl or a guy. You know, there's music. It's all good fun. If you're going out to eat and stuff like that, it's a different story. You're going to be spending money. But if you're going to a bar and, dancing, just hanging out, you don't have to drink as much as you normally would to have fun. Or just skip the first week. Payday week, skip it. Every night, someone has a day off. Usually you're alternating schedules, so it doesn't matter Monday through Sunday. Somebody's gonna have that next day off, and they're want to go out and gonna want to go out and drink, and have fun, or just hang out or do something. So what I would do is the first week or a week and a half, I try to go as long as possible without spending that money going out. That way, the paycheck is not 4 weeks away. It's more like 3, 2.5 weeks away. So it's much easier to make it through that long 4 week period, which it can be an eternity. The first couple months I was in Japan, I was like, wow, there's 10 more days and I don't have anything. But luckily I had some food at the house. Literally, I did not have anything. I went to work. I had to bring my own water or tea. If I didn't bring my lunch, I wasn't eating. I would go back home and eat. So eat lunch or breakfast or lunch right before I work. Go to work, do my time. And if I brought lunch, I'd eat it. If not, I just have to wait and then make it. And sometimes I'd actually run into the supermarket and go get some samples, or the department store, get some samples of, peanuts or cookies or whatever they're giving away. That's another tip for saving money. So yeah, try to think about it as like 4 week, you got 4 weeks. First week after payday, people are going to want to go out payday. It's going to be hard to resist this, but try. Or maybe you'll skip the second week of going out. So first week, go out, have fun, enjoy, spend a little money. Second week or third week, skip. That way, at least one of those weeks, you're not going out. You're skipping, or if you are, you're really being frugal or catchy in Japanese, as you would say. Okay, so that's my advice on that point of view. Let's see what else. Oh, another thing to do is this is I got from my friend Mike. He used to every day when he came home, he wasn't trying to save money, but his way of saving money, he wouldn't splurge, but it wasn't really his goal to save a lot of money. But what he would do is every night he'd have an old sake carton. They, like shochu or sake, they have in a carton sometimes. So he would cut the top off of it, clean it out, of course. And every night he grabbed whatever change is in his pocket and dump it in there. So it could be 500 yen, 100 yen, 10 yens, 5 yens, 1 yen. Doesn't matter. He would grab that change every night, drop it in there, not use it. Then he would use the paper bills during the day, drop it during the week. So he always had a lot of change, and the change in Japan is awesome. So 500 yen coin is $5. That buys a beer and a onigiri, or some tea and a onigiri. That's a lot of, that goes far. You can go to the 100 yen supermarket, which is another tip I'll talk about. Go to the 100 yen supermarket and splurge on 500 yen. So just imagine every day you're going to work, you got your 1,000 yen. You get a little bento, a little onigiri, some tea. You got 200-300 yen left. You just 150, whatever, you just dump it in that carton or any kind of container. And then every day you're doing that. So by the, when it comes down to the last week, say hypothetically you are broke, you got a big freaking container full of change that you've done 20 something days, or 25 days, 23 days, or 20 days. So you're not broke. And I think this is an awesome system. And I have another friend that he would only keep the 500 yen coins. He'd go to the 100 yen store, the dollar store. He'd buy this thing, this piggy bank that was designed for you to put 500 yen coins in. And he would just put those in there and save that way. So that's another way to save. But it doesn't matter what you use. You can use an old cup, coffee mug, whatever. Just a good way is you go out, you ate breakfast at home. You decide I'm too lazy to bring my lunch. I'm gonna go eat, hotomoto or hokohoka bento for like 300-400 yen. You get your change back. Later on, you bought a tea. Then by the end of the day, you got a couple hundred yen. You dump it in there. So 200 yen. Let's just say 200 yen. 200 yen times 20. Let me do some math here. How much is that gonna be? Let's do a little hypothetical math. Let's just say for 20 days times 200 yen is $2. We'll just call it $2. That's, just 200 yen. That's $40. $40. So 4,000 yen. Let's say 4,000 yen. You got the last week. You're broke. You spent all your money, but you got 4,000 yen worth of change. You are styling. You can literally, for the last week, living off of 4,000 yen, as long as you're not going out drinking and stuff like that, there's no problem whatsoever. But let's say hypothetically that one night, you got like a 500 here, a 500 there. Then you're getting to the point where you almost got 10,000 yen in change. So going to work, during that last week when everyone else is broke, you see people starting to bring sandwiches to work because they don't have any money. Then, you're doing pretty good, yeah? You're doing really, really good. Okay, let's see what's next on the old list of money-saving tips, tricks, and hacks for life in Japan. Even visiting Japan or living in Japan, actually, these things will definitely work. Okay, so next on the list is, let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, okay. Wholesale markets. If you're anywhere near Costco, highly recommend that you pay a little bit of money for that the annual membership, and you'll have the ability to actually buy things in bulk. Previously in Japan, there wasn't much bulk food, but recently it's a little bit more than usual, and most of the stores out there will have bundles of things that you can buy. But Costco's definitely high on the list. Another one is Mr. Max. Mr. Max is kind of my go-to cheap department store. Yeah, I guess department has a little bit of everything, and they have a little food section that has some bulk stuff like, bulk boxes of curries, some pastas, rice, alcohol, and snacks. Definitely snacks, sodas, teas. Kind of stuff like that. You don't necessarily see much refrigerated or frozen stuff, except ice cream maybe. But dry goods, you'll definitely see a lot of that. So hit up the Costco's, the Mr. Max's, and there's some other ones that I can't think. Max Value, and every town has their own, and you'll definitely find it. If somebody doesn't tell you, you might stumble on it by yourself. Another teacher will probably tell you. Also, the dollar 100 stores have a little food section, and there's also 100 yen supermarkets, which majority of the things are 100 yen, and small portions, so it's a good thing. But some things are a little bit more than a dollar, but everything in there is pretty cheap and small portioned, especially near universities. There's always one around there, definitely. Okay, next, I thought of this. It just came out of the blue. I don't know where it came from, but I don't know where I read it, or my wife's friend was telling me that. I think it was my wife's friend. She actually is the coupon queen but not the paper coupons. She's the digital coupon queen. Every time she wants to go out, I think she's on like a mailing list or online, the application for messaging and calling. It's Line. I think it's by Naver. There's an English version and Japanese version, but Line's really popular in Japan and parts of Asia. But you can subscribe to coupons, McDonald's. I don't know who else does. I guess probably the usual Yoshinoya and whatever. Those kind of places they'll have coupons for free burgers, free fries, or discounted stuff. So she's the queen, and not just fast food joints, but also hip and cool restaurants. We went to this one place that she had a coupon. We just flashed the QR code, which is the funky looking barcode, the modern barcode, I guess you call it. And the place, basically, they cooked your steak on a burning hot freaking rock, right? They took the rock out of the fire, had it on the table, and they cooked the little pieces of steak for you on the rock. And it was freaking awesome and kind of cool hip kind of joint. But she had a coupon for that place as well. So she's the coupon master. And the interesting thing is she works like 3 jobs. She has a full-time job, then she does I guess bartending / bar backing at a snack, and then some other job she does as well. So and then she still goes out and parties, so she's busy. I don't think she's the type of person that can't not be busy. So pretty funny. But make sure you get coupons. Especially I think McDonald's has an app, and probably Moss Burger, and I haven't checked Moss Burger recently, but definitely McDonald's and other places like that will have apps, and you'll see them advertised. You just snap the picture of the QR code, and it'll launch you to the store, and you just download it, and just make sure you check it, and you get some pretty good deals at the old fast food joints, and some of the more hip restaurants are doing campaigns, they call it like that. So pretty cool. That's another way to save some cash. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, 100 yen stores, 100 yen supermarkets. I used to make this mean dish. I'd get this kind of gratin type sauce. I get some penne pasta, and I get some chicken nuggets and some Tabasco sauce. And I made the meanest freaking pasta dish with chicken nuggets and that sauce, and the thing was awesome tasting. Of course, whatever that gratin or cheesy Alfredo type sauce, so whatever it was, I don't even remember what it was, but it wasn't designed to necessarily do what I did with it. But that stuff was awesome, and that was 300 yen flat, no tax. So 100 yen for the pasta, 100 yen for the chicken, 100 yen for that sauce, and it made pretty much two. I usually stretch it into 2 meals, so 150 yen meal. That's being catchy and saving some cash. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, Tony, Anthony the Crank. His wife and him, they're pretty good with the old point cards. Basically, supermarkets, stores, restaurants will have point cards. The same thing in most countries. You go there a certain amount of times and you start to get free meals. So some people have point cards from every stupid thing. I would have point cards from every electronic store. Best Enki, Yodobashi Camera, Applied. That was my poison. But I think it was Anthony's wife. Pretty sure it was her. She had a point card for every damn place under the sun. And also my other friend's wife did too. I remember now. 007, his wife definitely was a point card person. Not quite a master of it, but I believe it was Anthony's wife who was the master. She had a point card for every freaking place under the sun. Whenever they went someplace, bam, point card. And, eventually those things start giving you discounts and give you free meals. So it's pretty, or free things, I should say. So pretty cool. That's another thing you gotta look at. Make sure you get the point cards, the digital coupons, the point cards. They definitely, preferred customers, long-time customers. You start to get better and better service. Sabesu is like free stuff. So pretty cool. Next thing, let's see. Oh, one of the oldest tricks in the books for you all English teachers. In Japan, you have a salary. And then you have travel expenses, which are not together. So what you have to do is you You go get your takey or your monthly train pass, bus pass, whatever it is, whatever form of transportation. If you're lucky enough or unlucky enough to have to travel far on trains or buses. I had to get a little drink. Hold on. So you get your takey, and let me tell you the first place I lived was in Okayama City, and I to get to work there was a streetcar, a Roman Densha they call it. You know, one of those Seattle style streetcars. I guess there's only a few cities left in Japan with them, but Okayama is one of them. So we'd walk down the mansion, go down the elevator, jump on the streetcar, ride it all the way to the station, right in front of the station. Then my office was right there. Took freaking 20 minutes at least. The waiting and the stopping at the lights and all that stuff. It was fun first couple of times, but then my coworkers, I noticed that they're not riding this train, and they're like, Eric, did you buy your ticket? I said yes. They're like, did you Xerox it and give it to the staff, Xerox it and all that jazz? Yep. Okay, you know what you got to do? You got to go over to the store over there and buy a used bicycle. And from now on, don't buy the ticket again. You just saved. You just got an extra. I think it was either 10,000 or that one wasn't that expensive. I think it was like 8 to 10,000. So an extra 80 to $100 a month that I wouldn't have to spend if I rode my bicycle. And even walking, it wasn't even that far. Once I got comfortable with the area, it wasn't that bad. So what I did was I went over to a used bike shop and bought a 6,000 yen bicycle and a little 100 yen lock, 200 yen lock, or whatever, a cheap piece of junk. And from then on, I had that $100 every month put into the savings account, which I didn't use to buy the ticket. So that's a pretty good thing. And the cool thing is, another time I actually got transferred to another school, and what I would do is I would do that trolley to the station to the other station, and then I'd have to take a bus. So that's it ended up being like $250 a month for tickets for the monthly tickets. So what I ended up doing was, there's no way getting around the middle train part, but the first part would be, instead of the street train, the Roman Densha, I would ride my bicycle to the station, lock it up, catch the train. When I got there, initially I would ride the bus, but then after a while I found out that they had an underground bike parking that was free and lit and well organized. So all you had to do was just register your bike one time. I don't know if you had to. No, you didn't have to register. You registered at the bike shop. You couldn't park it above ground, but the underground parking was awesome. Had like ramps that you could just walk up, and it was awesome. So I was like, wait a minute here. If I buy myself another cheap bike in the other city, if I spent 5,000 yen on a used bike, so I had a bike in each city, and the bus was about $80. The trolley was about $80. So that was $160 or 16,000 yen in my pocket again. It's kind of the oldest trick in the book for people to and even the Japanese people do it too. They're all my students would tell me. Or another example is, instead of getting a train pass, first time you get the train pass, and after that you just go get a bus pass, and the bus is usually cheaper. Of course, it takes longer, but if you do want to take the bus, or you get that train pass, you give it to the staff, they write down the information, and from then on, you decide if it's hot or rainy, you take the train. If not, you cycle or you walk. During the cool in the winter, no big deal. Whenever you don't want to, and even once in a while, if you're really late, you just take a taxi for 500, 600 yen. But you still, in the long run, you still end up saving money by getting that little bit of extra money from travel. It's kind of an unwritten rule. You don't talk about it with the staff. They know what's going on, and it's just another way to make a little bit extra money that's not taxed. So that's kind of cool. I don't think it's taxed. Yeah, I don't think it's taxed. So some people would have an extra $250. I used to know this one guy who would ride he had a really nice mountain bike with some city slicker tires on it. and he would just every morning have a relatively decent sized backpack. He put his suit in there, pack it nicely so it wouldn't get wrinkled. Rain, summer, sleet, shine, he would ride every day from his house all the way to work. And he worked downtown, so there's always a bathroom in the big department store buildings that you can go in there and change. Or some people would have gym memberships and they would just go into the gym locker. You can always find somewhere to change. The school usually didn't like you coming in looking all bummy. They kind of wanted you to walk in the door with your uniform on. But some of the schools were in high rises, so you just go to the floor below, go in the bathroom, do the quick change. Especially in the summer. The winter is not so bad, but in the summer definitely you need to be changing, or the rain, etc. So there's all kinds of little tips and tricks to actually saving money. Getting that travel pass, or some people would live far away when they first got there, get the travel pass, then they'd move closer, so they'd have that extra 100, 200 yen. I mean, not yen, extra $100, $200, so 10,000, 20,000 yen, and they could. And then they would move closer where they didn't even need transportation. And of course, you try as long as possible. You're not going to tell people. I knew people for years who had like a couple $100 coming in every month for transportation that they never needed. So that's another way. So pretty cool. Let's see. I have down here on a note Sukiya and Yoshinoya. Sukiya and Yoshinoya are kind of like the beef bowl. They're the gyudon. Gyu is meat, and don is like a bowl, or donburi is a bowl of rice with some anything on top. The Sukiya and Yoshinoya are kind of famous for the gyudon bowls, but Sukiya actually has a bigger menu. They have curries and hamburgers, steak kind of sets. They got all kinds of stuff, but it's really cheap, really fast. They have a complimentary tea, which is usually mugi cha, which is I guess barley tea, which I like it. I like it a lot. So you can go in there, free drinks. You buy a bowl for like, I think it's as cheap as 290 to 300 yen for the small one, which is pretty good. And I used to watch this show on a Japanese TV show where they would try for a month. They gave to see how much they could save. So one guy would go in there, he'd buy the big one, the old mori bowl, which had a whole bunch of meat and a whole bunch of rice, and he would just divide it up. And which you can actually do, or you go there, get the bowl for 400, 500, the bigger one. Then you have vegetables from the supermarket. You boil those up at your house, and split it up a little bit, and you got 2 meals for a relatively cheap price. So there's lots of things you can do, especially with those places where you want a nice, fast, hot meal that's relatively healthy. I mean, it's beef with onions and rice, and they have you can buy sides so that you can get some. Nobody does, but you could. They have. What do they have there? They have a pickled ginger and pickled daikon, I think. So there is a little bit of vegetable stuff you could actually do if you really, really wanted to. But bargains, like the cheapest one, I'm pretty sure it's 290 yen for a decent size. It's small by Western standards, but Japanese standards, it's not that small. Gyudon bowl, so pretty good place to go, I think. And let's see. I mentioned earlier about joining the gym to find a place to change clothes and not, but actually saving money, I think you don't have to join the gym. Every city I've lived in Japan had some kind of sports park. When I lived in Okayama, I lived next to the Undo Koen, and Undo is exercise, Koen is park. Had some pull-up bars and sit-up places and a running path. Then when I lived in Fukuoka, I lived next to Ohori Park, which had a huge walking path. And there's Nishikoen, which is a big hill, which had a little bit of a path that had obstacle courses and, pull-up bars, chin-up bars, sit-up places. You can definitely find some places to do some exercise and not spend any money. You can do the push-ups, sit-ups at your house or anywhere. And for God's sake, when you live in Japan, you are going to be doing a lot of walking up and down stairs, going to the station, escalators, riding your bicycle. So you're going to get more exercise than you normally would. At least most people I know, when they first come to Japan, if they usually end up losing weight because you walk more, There's less. The meals are usually smaller size, less calories, a little bit healthier usually. I don't think I've known that many people who really blew up and got fat. Most people ended up initially losing a little weight because of the extra exercise, a little bit different eating habits, and the portions are way smaller than they are in the United States. That's for sure. I had one more thought, but it totally slipped my mind. So I think I'm gonna end the podcast on that note. I want to thank everybody for listening to the Japan podcast, formerly known as TEIJG. I hope you enjoyed the interview last week with Anthony. He was back on the podcast. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. It's about halfway through. I think it's like the 28 or 30-minute mark. You can check it out. We have a Patreon campaign going on. If you head on over to TEIJG.com, that's TEIJG.com, you can pledge like $1, 50 cents per show, whatever you want. And you can support us by hitting us up on the Patreon link, which is on the site. What else? Contact us if you have any questions about living, working, visiting Japan. You can hit us up at ETT808@gmail.com. That's ETT808@gmail.com. Anthony and I do plan to get back on a regularly scheduled podcast. I'm trying to do it every week, at least 3 times a month. I'm going to try. And I'm going to try to get him on the call at least once a month or twice a month, if not every episode. And I think we've kind of figured out the time that's good if his schedule stays the way it is. It'll be Thursday evening for me, but it's Friday morning for him, which he has the day off. So if we time it perfectly, I think we'll be able to at least get an update or possibly even do a full show with him. If not, I'm going to try to get at least 15, 20 minutes out of him if we can't get the whole show out of him. So I think that'll be good. And I have a couple ideas for some people I want to interview. And I'll keep you posted on that, and I'll let you know what happens with those. But anyways, it was good talking to you guys. We'll see you probably next week. I got to do a little business trip. So might not actually be next week. Might be a little bit like 10 days from now. But just keep subscribed. We're on Stitcher. We're on the iTunes. We're on Pocket Cast. Anywhere you think you can get a podcast, we're probably there. And just head on over to TEIJG.com. On the right side, you can see the links for subscriptions. And we're good to go. So thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Sayonara.